the main people that helped me out, and you talk about molding men, that in a time in my life to where I was just nothing but a clay ball. All right, and they just molded me into a man, a very chiseled man, if I do say so myself.
He's looking good, ladies. He's looking good.
But you ain't got to tell them that. They know that. But it would have to be, Coach Reedy. And I've told him that a number of times. And me and him talk on a weekly basis. Coach Steve Gabriel, and me and him talk on just about a weekly basis. And Coach Buddy King, and me and him talk almost now on, you could say, on a daily basis, And I would have never thought, had you asked me my freshman, sophomore year, if I'd ever be talking to any of those guys, after high school. I would have told you, hell no, that wasn't going to happen. But, the way things turn out, it really does. And like I said, I can't give. Like I said, take my mother and father out of the equation.
Yeah,
they're totally above those guys. Yeah. But when you think about it, the average student athlete, which I prefer to call them just athletes. Okay, yeah, they're students, but what we're talking about, they're athletes. They spend more time with a coach than they do their parents. If you think about it, they go to school at 7:30, 8 o'clock.
I cannot agree with you more, Dylan. Go ahead.
And what they do is, you have them from 7:30, 8 o'clock till about 6 o'clock that night. Yeah. So that's almost 12 hours a day. And then I'm going to tell you and all of us know, is you go home, you do your homework, if you choose to, okay? You should. All right, you should. There are those nights where you don't feel like doing anything, but
dinner and go to bed,
yeah,
take a shower.
Yeah, you take a shower, you eat dinner, and then you go to bed. So, and you have probably about 2 hours there that you spend with your family, and this is during season. And like every football player knows, and I don't consider any other athlete, but football player knows, is that when you're in season, you don't really have a lot of time with your family.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
you really don't, and that's one of the sacrifices that you kind of make, but yet you kind of love to make, because you're not with your true family, but you're with your other true family.
Yeah, you're with your teammates.
So and I mean,
it is a family.
So with that.
And those friendships last forever, dude.
They do.
And that's what I'm finding out of high school. Is I would have never thought. That especially, that we call each other championship brothers, but, those guys I played with on that championship team, I mean, hell, we talk just about every day. I talk to at least 3 of them every day, whether it be over Twitter, Facebook, sometimes Instagram, okay, or texting, or sometimes, call each other up, hey, what you doing tonight? Are you in town? Well, no, I ain't in town, but I'll be in town, 2 weeks from now. So, you talk. I would have never thought that while I was in school. I would have thought, as soon as I'm done with this, I'm gone. I'm out of this town, And as I find, that I'm out of this town, I'm going to go on the record saying, and I truly feel this way, that I've never been homesick, but I've been wanting to spend time with, boys like my boy here, Kevin Seckler, okay? I think about, him and my other football buddies every day.
Yeah, that's right.
I do.
Should. Hey, listen, look at me, Dylan. Once a Gator, always a Gator. It's a fraternity. It's a fraternity.
Yep. And I'm gonna go on record saying here, and this is just me talking, because I will let you talk some more in here in a second. But some of my best friends, and I've been in the military. I jumped out of planes for a living when I was in the 82nd Airborne. Some of my best friends. I mean, I still talk to them.
Why did you jump out of a plane?
Basically, I was the first person in my family to go to college. First person in my, my brother went to the military, but I was the first one in my whole family and lineage from there to wherever, I played football, but I wasn't scared to jump out of planes. And I was the first one ever. Yeah, right.
Yeah. By the way, I play football too. I don't know about all that.
Look here, look. All right, now I played football too. Okay, I've gone up against some of the biggest, toughest, meanest people that I've ever met. Okay, and I've won. I can't say that I've won most of the battles because, hey, sometimes we had to draw a double team on them.
Oh yeah.
But still, All right, I ain't gonna jump out of a perfectly good aircraft.
Hey, obviously, man, if you've been in the military, you know them planes are not perfectly good, okay? and you'll be glad when you step out that plane and hit the ground. But you go ahead, man.
Dylan, how many games of your career as a Gator did you lose?
Well,
Not many.
The losing record.
Well, I can tell you. Oh hell! How many did I win? Hell, that's.
That's easy.
Well, hey, you were there.
That's actually, to be honest with you, that's actually, I believe I won 50, and that's and some people call that sad. You know that I know that, but I can tell you every game that I lost.
University is one.
I did lose, and I lost.
Well,
I mean, hey,
all right,
I mean,
let's talk.
damn it, hang on now. All right, my freshman year, we lost to Fort Dorchester 13-0. We had a guy playing.
Remember that game?
We had a guy by the name of Kevin Glears. He's now, I believe, a senior. He may be a redshirt senior at CSU. And he's a damn good athlete. Okay, he's one of my brothers for life, right? And it's sad to say I don't talk to him as much as I think I should. But being as busy as I am, I just it's really hard to find time. With 2 different schools and 2 different schedules of when you're in town and whatnot. But he's tearing it up at CSU. And then the next game we lost would be to Somerville, which to this day, granted that may be 5 years ago, to this day, we should have won that game. They had a safety, and I made this clear to Coach McKissick when I was over there. We talked about that game 5 years ago, and and they shouldn't have had a safety. They shouldn't have had a touchdown that they had, and if you wouldn't have asked me, I could have told you the score of that game. And then after that, we lost to, and I don't call him Berkeley that year. I call him Bruce Ellington.
Yeah.
All right.
Bruce Ellington.
The immaculate fumble.
We played.
We all know was on the ground.
Well, no, that was later in the 3rd round. Okay. Yeah. We were in the region championship. It was actually it was a cool environment because it was down here at the creek, and we were both undefeated in the region. That was back when the region championship was a championship game. It wasn't no blowout against, so-and-so's undefeated and so-and-so's, defeated. If you lose to them, it's going to be a 3-way tie or something. It's not going to be like that. It was, they were undefeated in the region, we were undefeated, and we met, we were the last region game. And I remember he also played defense that game too. We lost to them, and then I believe we were the 3rd seed in the playoffs. And then from there, we beat out everybody and went to the 3rd round of the playoffs and played against Berkeley again. That's the game that you're talking about, Terry, that, all right, look, they shouldn't have had 21 points that they had, okay? 3 touchdowns, don't even get me started. Now, and I've been told by several people that you should probably go see help about this, because I hold grudges. I do.
I know for a fact, and I've seen film and I've seen the pictures. Bruce, no, it wasn't even Bruce Ellington on the ground. He was down. I mean, he's down.
It was the fan
plain as damn day down.
Listen, all right, they shouldn't have had 2 other touchdowns. But if that one touchdown didn't happen, then we would have won the game and we would have went on to the state championship. And don't even ask me if we would have beat Northwestern. We would have. I don't care who it was because we beat them earlier that season.
Exactly.
All right.
That's right.
Now, and then
was
you
that the Mud Bowl?
I don't even know.
The
But
first time they came down and it was the start of the season.
oh yeah, that actually was because
it was 14-0.
Yeah, that's the final game, and we actually scored those 14 points. That was my first varsity game ever, and we scored those first 14 points in the first half. We didn't score another point, but our defense kept it out as a shutout, and then we had after that we played. My sophomore year, we went all the way undefeated in the whole season until we went to the 3rd round and we got beat by Justin Worley at Northwestern.
That's right.
And then from, I just say it was Justin Worley, but he had 2 Division I receivers with him, and he had 2 Division I defensive backs with him. Okay, and one of them is actually playing with him right now in Tennessee, and then the other one's playing for South Carolina.
Yep.
And I forget where I used to know where the 2 defensive backs went, and then my junior year, we went on the road our first game and we beat Irmo 56-7. Okay, and I'll never forget that it was on a pick six that Jaquan Marsh. It was his only interception he had that whole season, just to just to show how good he was at quarterback. And so I could picture it like it just happened yesterday. He just ran it right back.
And actually, he still is. Dylan, where's Jaquan playing these days? You know?
No. I mean, Daquan Marsh, he was a great quarterback for Goose Creek, and definitely we wish him the best of luck on whatever he's doing right now. And
that's right.
And where he's playing. So.
And to talk about that whole season it was my junior game. It was my junior year, I should say. We probably never would have won the state championship that year had we not had that burning desire in our gut, from the past 2 years, from losing to Berkeley twice and losing in the third round, and then making it the next year, my sophomore year, to the third round, and, losing to Northwestern in the third. I mean, but, I'll never forget, during summer, training, when, you're running all those 110s, we would say we were 6 yards away from scoring a touchdown and beat Northwestern to go to the state championship and play Greenwood, which Northwestern beat. So, I mean, that whole thing, that really, gave us the eye of the tiger, if you should say, all right?
Real good.
So, that whole, and then we went on and we won one game. We beat the hell out of damn Irmo, okay?
Yep.
And then we played University, which if we would have played Cane Bay, but we both scheduled those two out-of-state teams, and they both played at John Fulmer Field. And we went on and we lost that game, which that still sticks to me.
Well, that was only because we didn't have the jumbo package. That was the first time we ever, we went.
Well, look, there's a lot. I learned.
Well, let me tell you something, guys. Everybody knows this. This was a 52-51 game in triple overtime. All right, guys, and it was a hard-fought battle. All right, and we came up on the short end of the stick in that game, but I'm sure Dylan's got some thoughts about it.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was only the first game we started using the jumbo package, but look, we'll let Dylan, go and elaborate on that, so that way we know what happened for real.
But with that whole situation, I remember that whole game. It started off real hot. Okay, and number one, it was played on a Saturday at noon.
Saturday afternoon.
All right,
it was hot.
In September. Okay, and we all know how it gets down here in September in the creek. All right, it's crazy.
I'm gonna tell you right now before you start, we did have a lady pass out in the stands, and EMS had to come up. That's how hot it was.
Yeah, and so I mean, that whole game was nothing but a bloodbath. Okay, and then it started raining about the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter.
Which made it even damn hotter.
Yeah, after it rained, it just got so humid, and then we went from the whole rain and the heat and the humidity, and then they got a touchdown, and anyways, it sent it into overtime, and we played them into overtime. And then we played them in overtime, and that whole thing with the losing and the whole jumbo package and whatnot, it would have been. I learned very early on in my football career that even though me personally, I stay up. I mean, I get cold sweats at night. I can't sleep. I can't do anything. I don't even want to eat. All right, and I just hate it. And like I said, I probably should go see help about all that. But the whole situation with that whole game. Yeah, we didn't have a jumbo package, and yeah, if we would have just got a block on the Mike linebacker, he would have walked in. And yeah, Virgil did slip there, before he got the ball and whatnot, which stopped his momentum. But anyways, that all fired us up. Hey, we got to get it all together, and we won the championship that year.
And to let you know, guys, they were the first real undefeated team that we had in Goose Creek. Of course, the class of '89 was the first actual region, well, besides '69 when they first started, but they were playing JV teams at the time. A little asterisk mark there. But '89, class of '89, that was the '89 after the class of '89 graduated, so you'd be '89-90 class.
Mayor of Goose Creek.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, that team right there was the first actual region championship they won. And we just want to say congratulations to Dylan and you know, for making it to college level. Something that I almost made too, but I got my knee tore up real bad. I'm still living with that to this day. But we thank you guys for coming by.
I can tell you, a good doctor to go see to about that.